Starting a seafood store with my childhood friend, we made a net profit of $3 million in 1 year. It was time for year-end bonuses. Took $2,900,000 as if he deserved it, leaving me with only $100,000.
The stall is mine, and I provided the capital. You just did the heavy lifting. $100,000 is plenty for you.
I looked at the stack of cash and stuffed it into my pocket without a word.
Fine. We'll do it your way.
I immediately used that money to lease an abandoned cold storage facility. When a typhoon hit and supplies ran dry, I brought over a dozen refrigerated trucks loaded with deep-sea seafood and parked right in front of his stall. Looking at his face as it turned pale, I rolled down my window.
Brother, from now on, for the seafood in Nanchang, let's sell our own separately.
I heard that afternoon. He looked at his tanks full of rotting dead fish, knelt in the sewage, and slapped his own face until it was swollen.
Xiaoye, our stall made over $3 million this year. Here is $100,000 in bonuses. Take it.
I stared at the envelope and said nothing, but a calculator was running in my head. 365 days a year, I went to the docks at 2 a.m. to receive goods, inspect them, and pull them back to the shop to oxygenate the tanks. By 6 a.m., I was delivering goods to all the major hotels in the city. For an entire year, I didn't get a single full night's sleep. The stall's revenue reached over $10 million. Subtracting losses, rent, labor, and utilities, net profit was exactly $3 million. Li Fei naturally took $2,900,000.
Xiaoye, you need to show some gratitude. The stall's name is mine, and I provided the initial $500,000 in capital. Without the platform I gave you, you'd still be on a fishing boat pulling nets for someone else. You just provide labor. So $100,000 is enough. Go ahead and ask around. Which seafood porter earns $100,000 a year? Besides, didn't I cover all your meals? Take the money, buy some supplements for your paralyzed father, and have a good new year.
This is my good brother. Back when the stall first opened, he made an operational mistake that killed an entire tank of seafood, and he grabbed my hand, crying his eyes out.
Xiaoye, I'm counting on you. If we make this work, we'll split the profits equally, brother.
I believed him and worked my life away. I drank with hotel purchasing managers until I got stomach bleeding. Cold storage at 10 degrees below zero, I spent half the night squatting there, single-handedly turning this stall into the top seller in the Nanchang market. Now that the stall is popular and the money is rolling in, he tells me I'm just the hell. It's the Brotherhood he talks about. I didn't say a word, smiled. I picked up the envelope from the table, didn't even count it, and stuffed it directly into my pocket.
Fine. Have it your way.
Seeing this, Li Fei had a flash of contempt in his eyes before laughing out loud.
That's more like it. Adapt or be left behind. Xiaoye, keep working hard. Next year, when I get a Porsche, I'll lend you my old Audi to drive back to your village. You'll look so impressive.
No thanks, Brother Fei. I won't be coming back after New Year's.
What do you mean? Taking the money and quitting on me?
I glanced back at him.
Brother Fei was right. I'm just the help. I've given all the help I can this year for the future of the business. Brother Fei should manage it himself.
Li Fei thought I was a fool, thinking I wouldn't dare leave his platform. But what he didn't know is, for the over 300 seafood bosses, big and small in the Nanchang market, they didn't care about Li Fei's name. They cared about Lin Ye's eyes for quality. Leaving the market, I didn't go home. Instead, I went directly to Nanchang Commercial Bank, withdrew my 3 years of accumulated savings, plus this $100,000, totaled $350,000. Right after, I headed for the investment center of Nanchang Cold Chain Logistics Park. There was the largest cluster of abandoned cold storage in Nanchang. Others disliked the old equipment and bad location, but I knew it was the transportation hub closest to the highway entrance. I dialed the number for the investment office.
Hello, is this Manager Wang? I want to lease the largest cold storage in the South District. Yes, I'll sign the contract now.
Later, Manager Wang led me to abandoned cold storage number 3. The rusted iron gates creaked with a bone-chilling sound. The air was thick with a musty, lightless smell. Manager Wang took a flashlight, carefully leading the way.
Brother, I'm not trying to cheat you, but this place has been abandoned for 3 years. The compressors still work, but they consume too much power, and the location is too isolated. What's your plan?
I looked up, surveying the massive cold storage area, which was 500 square meters. Others saw isolation. I knew that from here, to the highway, to most high-end food restaurants downtown, would be 20 minutes faster than from Li Fei's central stall in the market. In the seafood business, 20 minutes is the difference between life and death, freshness and rot.
I'll take this one.
I pulled the bank card from my pocket and handed it to Manager Wang.
A deposit plus 3 months' rent, including the equipment inspection. Can you have it ready by this afternoon?
Manager Wang froze, staring at me as if I were a madman. $350,000 for a worker is their entire life savings. Throwing it into an abandoned warehouse is basically flushing it away.
All right, you're straightforward. So am I. By 5 p.m., I'll have someone freeze this place through for you.
When I walked out of the logistics park, the cold wind blew into my collar. But I didn't feel cold. Instead, my blood was boiling. When I returned to that 40-square-meter shabby rental apartment, it was already dark. The room was full of smoke. My uncle sat on the sofa, puffing on dry tobacco. My mom was in the narrow kitchen cooking plain noodles. Hearing the door open, she quickly wiped her hands on her apron and came out.
Xiaoye is back.
My mom's eyes were a bit red, looking hesitant to speak.
Oh, look who's back. Is it the top seller of the Nanchang market, Lord Lin? I heard this afternoon that Li Fei's stall made $3 million this year. Li Fei generously tipped you $100,000, but you were so stubborn that you quit.
I nodded, responding briefly.
Have you lost your mind? The Li family puts up the capital, they take the cut. It's only right. You're just a lowly worker. Getting some scraps behind them wasn't enough for you? Don't you know your dad is still in the hospital? You quit your job. How will you support the family?
Xiaoye, great uncle is blunt, but he has a point. Li Fei may be a bit arrogant, but the pay wasn't bad. Why don't you buy some gifts tomorrow? Go apologize to him and go back to work.
Go back? That $3 million Li Fei made was earned with my blood and sweat. He's not even grateful and he treats me like a beggar. I'd rather starve than go back to him.
What do you know? He has money and connections and the best stall in the city center. What do you have, besides the permanent smell of fish on your body? You have nothing. Where is that $100,000? Give it to your mother for medical bill.
It's spent.
What? You spent $100,000 in half a day?
I leased a cold storage facility to go solo.
On your own? You have no suppliers and no big clients. You're going to fail. Fine, have it your way. When you're begging in the streets later, don't say, great uncle didn't warn you.
After saying that, great uncle slammed the door and left. There was a deathly silence in the room. My mom sat on a small stool, covering her face and crying silently. She didn't believe in me. In her eyes, rich people like Li Fei were born for business, while I was destined for hard labor. I walked over and gently patted her shoulder.
Mom, trust me. It won't be long. Before I move Dad into the best intensive care room.
At 1 a.m., I came to the cold storage alone with a high-pressure water gun, washing away every inch of remaining filth. Just then, my phone rang. At this hour, there is only one type of person calling, a boat captain who just docked. After answering, a gruff roar sounded.
Lin! Are you still in business? The way things are at Li Fei's stall?
Brother, hi. I'm on my own now. Why the sudden anger?
That little brat Li Fei, taking advantage of your absence, somehow found some amateur novice to inspect the goods. I just hauled in 5,000 pounds of top-grade wild grouper from the deep sea, all top-shelf stuff, and Li Fei had the nerve to say the quality was bad, demanding a 30% discount. Does he think I'm a beggar?
My heart jumped. 5,000 pounds of wild grouper. High-end hotels would kill for that rare supply. If I can land it, it would not only launch me, but also double my profit.
Brother, hi. I'll take the whole batch.
Fine. I'd rather throw it into the sea to feed the turtles than give it to that ungrateful Li Fei. Lin, for your sake, I'll go with the lowest market price. But you know the rules. For hot items like this, it's cash only and no refunds. $450,000 in total. Bring the cash to the dock to pick up the goods within half an hour.
After the call ended, I stood quietly in the cold storage. Goods worth $450,000, but in total, I had less than $2,000. The deadline to snag the goods at the dock was only 30 minutes away. Li Fei's men must still be at the dock, and they could realize what's happening at any moment. I took a deep breath of the cold air, made a call. Success or failure, it all comes down to tonight.
Hello, President Zhao. It's Lin Ye speaking.
On the other end of the line was the owner of the high-end restaurant chain, Nancheng, the big boss of Haiyue restaurant. Zhao Haisheng 6 months ago, Li Fei bought a batch of cheap oysters to pass off low-quality goods to Haiyue restaurant for high-end sashimi. While unloading, I saw at a glance that the oysters were contaminated. If customers had eaten them, Haiyue restaurant's reputation would have been ruined. I paid out of my own pocket, sourced a batch of fresh ones from the next city overnight at a high price, filled the order, endured Li Fei's verbal abuse, and saved Haiyue restaurant's name. Zhao Haisheng owed me a massive favor.
Lin, calling this late. Is there an emergency?
President Zhao, I'm on my own now. I'm in South District Logistics Park, renting my own cold storage. There are 5,000 pounds of top-tier wild coral grouper and tiger grouper at the dock. Li Fei's people don't know the value and are lowballing the price. I want to intercept this batch, but I don't have the capital. Lend me $500,000. These fish can be the premium supply for Haiyue restaurant for the next month. I'll guarantee them at cost price, all right?
Send me your account details. I knew all along that kid from Li Fei was a useless rich brat. Now that you're on your own, the high-end seafood market for Nanchang will be your domain. The money is coming. Consider it a down payment.
The funds arrived quickly. I drove a rented second-hand refrigerated truck straight to Nanchang Pier, the dock floodlights at 2:30 a.m. The pale light tore through the darkness. The air was thick with the smell of diesel and fish. In front of Lao Hai's fishing boat stood a young man in a slim-fit suit, wearing gold-rimmed glasses, holding his nose, looking at the water tanks with disgust. This was Li Fei's cousin, just back from studying abroad, and he'd never sold a piece of seafood in his life.
Boss, hi. My cousin said that the scales on these fish are damaged. They're not active enough. By the rules, I can only give you $60 a pound. No higher. If you don't sell, at this hour, who else in Nanchang, besides my Li Fei, can handle 5,000 pounds of stock?
Crap. Wild coral groupers rub against the nets. Losing a few scales is normal. You're cutting 30% off the price. You're trying to bleed me dry.
Just then, a second-hand truck pulled up steadily next to the BMW. I opened the door, stepped through the mud and scales, and walked over. Li Fei was stunned to see me, then broke into a mocking smile.
Oh, look who it is. If it isn't Boss Lin with his $100,000 severance pay, what are you doing at the dock in the middle of the night? Looking for scraps?
I ignored him and walked straight to Lao Hai. In the tank, the dark red, blue-spotted coral groupers were swimming around, their dorsal fins sharp and erect, full of wild vitality. Great stuff, absolute top quality.
Brother Hai, I'll take the whole 5,000 pounds at your lowest market price, $450,000 in total.
I took out my phone to pay.
Lin Ye, are you freaking crazy? You dare intercept my goods? With just your $100,000? Lao Hai, don't let him fool you. He's a complete loser right now.
However, very soon, the notification sound for the payment echoed.
Where did you get the money?
Brother Fei, you always said I didn't know how to do business. So I'll teach you your first lesson today. At the docks, vision is everything. Lao Hai, load the truck.
On it!
Lin Ye, you have guts. Think you won just because you bought them? Without the stalls and connections of my The Li family, these 5,000 pounds of live fish won't sell by tomorrow morning, and they'll all end up ruined in your pathetic cold storage. I'll be waiting to watch you lose everything and jump in the ocean.
I didn't give him a single look. Just as I was about to get in the truck, Lao Hai suddenly grabbed my arm.
In a lowered voice, he said, I appreciate the favor. In the bottom hold, there's another 500 pounds of deep-sea golden king crabs. The foolish cousin of Li Fei insisted they were all gone. You have a sharp eye. Help me take a look.
My heart jolted. Golden king crabs. Those are treasures that every high-end restaurant would fight over. I immediately followed Lao Hai down to the hold, pulled back the insulated canvas over the tank, and by the dim flashlight, I saw 500 pounds of massive, dark gold Russian king crabs. They lay quietly at the bottom of the tank. Some were already belly up, with their legs dangling, leaving only faint bubbles on the water's surface. No wonder the cousin of Li Fei, the one from abroad, said they were gone. To an outsider, these crabs indeed look lifeless. But I've been grinding in this trade for 8 long years. My hands can't just withstand ice. They can sense exact water temperature and salinity. I rolled up my sleeve and dipped my hand into the tank. Biting cold, it was at least 2 degrees below zero. I pulled up a lifeless crab and pressed firmly on its leg. The muscle was still firm, not hollow or soft. Moreover, its gills were still pulsing very slowly. These aren't dead, they're in cold-induced hibernation. During sea transport, the cooling system failed or was mishandled, causing the water temperature to plummet. These deep-sea kings went into a dormant state to protect themselves. If I can get them into a nursery tank within 3 hours, with specific salinity and temperature, and wake them slowly, they'll be lively again.
Brother Hai, how much for these crabs?
Lao Hai sighed.
If they were alive, they'd sell for $200 or $300 a pound. But as they are now, if you dare to take them, I'll count them as scrap. $10,000 for 500 pounds. Take them. Call it a small fee for the crew's hard work.
I suppressed my excitement and paid immediately. 4 in the morning, I returned to my own warehouse. After settling the grouper into the large live well tanks, I instantly started saving those 500 pounds of crabs. I prepared highly oxygenated synthetic seawater, strictly controlled the temperature between 4 to 6 degrees Celsius, then placed the dead crabs in one by one, very carefully, and cranked the oxygen pumps to maximum. Waiting was torturous. On the water's surface were only the sounds of bubbles. If my judgment was off, $10,000 was down the drain. But if I won the gamble, this would be my true capital to turn things around. At 5, the water was still calm. At 5:30, the sky started to turn grey. Just when I thought it was over, from inside the tank, I heard a slight splash. I turned my head sharply, only to see the largest golden king crab slowly flipping over, stretching out its spiked legs, like an armored beast waking up. At the bottom of the tank, it began to crawl slowly and powerfully. Then a second one, and a third, until the tank was churning like boiling water. 500 pounds of king crab had miraculously come back to life, at least 90% of them. Looking at them, I smiled happily. At 7 in the morning, Li Fei's seafood stall had just opened, and a few yawning workers were moving foam boxes outside. Li Fei sat in his chair drinking tea, looking extremely frustrated. No goods from Lao Hai arrived last night, and in the tanks, there was nothing left but some average-looking farmed seafood. Just then, a Range Rover screeched to a halt out front. For a high-end wedding feast, Tianxi Pavilion's procurement manager Lao Jiang rushed inside.
Boss Li, The bureau chief's son's wedding is at noon today. He specifically requested 200 pounds of king crab as the main course. Load up the truck now.
Li Fei's teacup shook, spilling tea all over his pants.
Zhang, Manager Zhang, the king crab is out of stock today. How about these Boston lobsters instead?
Lao Zhang glared at him.
Nonsense. The wedding menu was set a month ago, and you're telling me you're out today? If there's no king crab, and this wedding is ruined, forget about Li Fei's reputation.
The car left immediately after the briefing. Li Fei was drenched in sweat, pacing around in a panic. He quickly pulled out his phone and called some industry peers to borrow stock.
Hello, Boss Wang. Do you have any king crabs? What? They were all taken by Lin Ye? Brother Liu, do you have any top-tier stock? What? You went to see the goods in the South District too.
Li Fei completely lost it. At this moment, outside the South District Cold Storage number 3, the area was packed with luxury cars and refrigerated vans. Every restaurant owner with any influence in the city, along with purchasing managers, were all squeezed into old, dilapidated cold storage. Zhao Haisheng stood before the tanks, staring at the lively top-tier leopard grouper and the aggressive golden king crabs. His eyes were shining.
Lin, your vision is amazing. As for these golden crabs, I, Haiyue Restaurant, want 200 pounds, $800 per pound, cash on the spot.
Zhao, don't take it all for yourself. Save 200 pounds for me. Tianxi Pavilion. We are hosting the wedding banquet for the director's son at noon.
I stood by the tanks, expertly handling the net and scales, with a smirk on my face.
Relax, gentlemen. Today is Lin Ye's, first day going solo. The leopard grouper is $150 a pound, and the golden king crab is $600 a pound. The rules are simple. Cash up front, then you get your goods.
Just as the balance in my account started to skyrocket, Li Fei's call came in. After picking up, the voice of Li Fei comes through gritted teeth.
Lin Ye, you're ruthless. Sell me those king crabs. I'll pay you twice the price. No, I'll give you a $100,000 bonus. Don't push me to the edge.
I sneer.
100,000? Brother Fei, $100,000 is only enough to buy out our Brotherhood.
With that, I hung up the phone. This is just the beginning, Li Fei. The sky over Nancheng is about to change. At this moment, Li Fei
is pleading with Manager Zhang passing by.
Brother Zhang.
Give me one more day. I promise to make up the king crabs with the same specs for you. I'll pay you double in damages, but you can't end our 3-year long-term supply contract.
Li Fei, how dare you mention 3 years? If it weren't for Brother Lin Ye holding things up for you and controlling the quality, your stall would have closed long ago. Regarding today's wedding banquet, if Brother Lin hadn't saved the day, I, Lao Zhang, would have been fired today. Starting today, the partnership between Tianxi Pavilion and Liji Aquatic Products is officially cancelled.
Lao Zhang snorted, turning to walk away with large strides, leaving behind a crowd of laughing peers. Li Fei slumped to the ground, his face turning pale with shock. Just then, his cousin back from overseas ran in, drenched in sweat, looking eager for a reward.
Cousin, don't worry. I just bought from some sellers nearby a huge shipment of cheap grouper and prawns. The price is half of what it usually is. Once we resell them, we'll make back everything we lost today. We're rich.
Li Fei saw a ray of hope and jumped to his feet.
Quick, unload them into the oxygen tanks.
A few minutes later, a filthy truck pulled up in front of the stall. When the doors opened, a pungent smell of ammonia mixed with the stench of rotting fish hit them like a wall. The onlookers nearby were driven back by the stench. Li Fei rushed to the back of the truck, nearly fainting from what he saw. Water tanks were murky. The surface was covered in layers of floating belly-up fish. Few remaining prawns were in the filthy water, feebly twitching. Li Fei kicked his cousin in the stomach, knocking him to the ground.
You call this live seafood? Do you have trash for brains?
Holding his stomach, his cousin tried to explain.
They were lively when I bought them. The vendor said they were just dizzy from the lack of oxygen, and they'd be fine after some rest in the tank.
In the seafood industry, there's jargon for medicating fish. Unscrupulous dealers keep dying fish looking lively by drugging the water. Once taken out of it, these fish are doomed and rot quickly. I was around. The petty dealers couldn't even get near Li's stall. The returnee cousin is being treated like a fool to be fleeced. Even worse, to save trouble, the stall workers dumped the drugged wastewater, dying seafood, directly into the largest main holding tank. Li Fei roared as he tried to stop them.
Don't dump it. Damn it, don't dump it.
But it was too late. Rotten toxins and lethal bacteria instantly contaminated the entire water system. Within 10 minutes, the healthy seafood worth over $100,000 began floating to the top, all gone. Li Fei slumped onto the sofa, hands in his hair, eyes blank. I'd only been gone for 1 day. His business took a fatal blow. Meanwhile, as Nancheng First People's Hospital, I washed off the fishy smell, changed my clothes, and carrying a heavy backpack, entered the hospital lobby. At the payment window, my mother lowered her head, silently counting the roll of crumpled change in her hand. Great uncle stood aside, still looking bossy as ever.
I told you long ago to convince Lin Ye to go back, apologize to Li Fei, but you wouldn't listen. Satisfied now that $100,000 spent on that crappy warehouse went down the drain, how will he pay this $5,000 bill?
My mother's tears kept falling.
Lend me $2,000 first, and I'll pay you back by washing dishes next month.
Where would I get any money?
Mom, no need to borrow.
I strode over, took the black backpack, and placed it directly on the marble counter of the payment window. I unzipped it, revealing stacks of crisp $100 bills neatly packed inside. Exactly $600,000. Great uncle's eyes widened instantly, jaw nearly hitting the floor. He pointed at the bag of money and stammered,
Lin Ye. Where did you get all this money?
Ignoring him completely, I turned to the clerk at the window and said,
Excuse me, nurse. My father, Lin Jiangguo, is transferring to the intensive care VIP private suite on the top floor. This $200,000 is for the fees and the surgical deposit.
The clerk paused in shock, then deftly put the cash into the bill counter. My mother gasped in disbelief.
Xiaoye, where did this money really come from?
I held my mother's rough hands and said softly,
I earned it. Mom, I told you, we don't need to answer to anyone anymore. From now on, Dad will get the best medicine, and you'll never have to wash dishes again.
My uncle stood aside, with a face changing from red to pale, looking like a pathetic clown. He swallowed hard and shamelessly approached me.
Xiaoye, your uncle knew you had a head for business. Look at my little store. Cash flow has been tight lately. Could you...
I cut him off coldly.
No. I risked my life for this money. It has nothing to do with a stingy miser. Like you.
After settling my parents, I walked out of the hospital. Today's success is just the first step. Li Fei may be stupid, but his family has deep roots in the seafood industry of Nanchang. He'll never just watch me grow big. Sure enough, a moment later, Lao Hai called.
Lin, we've got big trouble. Li Fei's father has stepped in. He sent word throughout the entire Nanchang Pier to all deep-sea fishing boats. Anyone who sells even a bit of fish to Lin Ye is an enemy of the Li family, and will never unload at Nanchang again.
I sneered.
Cutting off my supply? Brother Hai, Typhoon Lekima is landing the day after tomorrow, right?
Gao Hai on the other end froze.
Yes. The Weather Bureau issued a red alert. All ships must return to harbor tomorrow. Why do you ask?
Good. I'll show the Li family that the ocean isn't their private backyard pond.
Meanwhile, in Heilong Tea House's private booth, Li Fei's father, the long-standing kingpin of Nanchang's seafood industry, Li Wanshan, sat tall in his armchair, methodically scraping the tea leaves in his cup. On both sides of the table, over a dozen of the biggest fleet captains in Nanchang, including Lao Hai. One's expressions were grim.
Everyone, I, Li Wanshan, have ruled these waters of Nanchang for 30 years. My boy was reckless, and let that little brat Lin Ye find an opening, but the rules must stand. Starting today, if any fishing boat at Nanchang Wharf dares sell even a single shrimp to Lin Ye, it's an attack on Li Wanshan's livelihood. From now on, his boats will never be allowed to dock and unload in Nanchang again.
Lao Hai clenched his teeth and forced himself to speak.
Master Li, cutting off people's livelihoods.
Boss Hai, I heard you and Lin Ye got pretty close last night. What? Do you want to be the first one to test me?
Lao Hai clenched his fists, but faced with the Li family's deep-rooted power, he ultimately lowered his head in resignation. Half an hour later, I received a call from Lao Hai.
Lin, brother has failed you. Li Wanshan has put a hit out on you. The men on the wharf have families to support. They can't risk their livelihoods on a gamble with you. Typhoon Lekima lands tomorrow, and all the ships must return to port. But regarding this shipment, we can't give you even a single pound.
Brother Hai, don't say that. The guys need to eat, I get it. Not only will you not sell to me, but you will take all the stock, good or bad, and dump it all on Li Fei at top market prices.
Lao Hai froze.
Why is that?
I gave a cold laugh, looking at the darkening sky outside.
The main tank of Li Fei was just contaminated yesterday with excessive ammonia and a bacterial infection. His useless cousin has no idea how to properly clean the filtration system. If you sell your fish to him now, you're just handing him a time bomb.
As for my supply, after I hung up, I pulled up a number saved for 2 years, one I had never dialed. It was for Dongzhou Deepwater Port, belonging to Brother He. 2 years ago, Brother He's containers of shrimp almost went to waste because of a cold chain failure. I rushed there overnight, using my exclusive flash freezing technology, saving him over $10 million in losses.
Hello, Brother He. It's Lin Ye.
Oh, Lin. To what do I owe this honor?
Brother He, Typhoon Lekima is coming. Those 3 deep-sea trawlers of yours, don't unload them at Dongzhou. Bring them to Nanchang tonight. I'm taking it all.
All of it? Brother, we're talking about 300,000 pounds of premium stock. Groupers, coral trouts, king prawns. The cargo alone is worth over $10 million. Can you handle it?
I only have 600,000 in cash. But I'll use half of Nanchang's future high-end seafood market as collateral. Put the stock in my warehouse first. And within 3 days, I'll pay you back in full with interest. Brother Hay, do you dare to bet with me?
Silence followed for 5 seconds.
Ha ha. Look, I owe you my life anyway. Why wouldn't I bet? Your vision, Linye, is worth every penny. Load the trucks tonight. In 3 hours. See you at the South District Logistics Park.
Putting down my phone, I walk out of the cold storage doors. Li Wanshan, did you think that by locking down this small pond in Nanchang, you could starve me, Linye? I'll take advantage of this storm today and turn the entire ocean upside down. Early next morning, Typhoon Lakima officially made landfall in Nanchang. Storm raged, whipping the city like a lash. Of Nanchang entered an emergency lockdown with all work and schools suspended. Highways closed, ports stalled, and every single fishing boat was locked in the typhoon shelters. For 5 days straight, it was impossible for any boat to go to sea. The seafood industry, thing is feared more than a typhoon. The supply dries up. It's also a time of frenzy. The rougher the waves, the pricier the fish. Whoever has fresh stock in hand becomes the god of wealth for the entire Nanchang dining scene. Li's aquatic stall, Li Fei sat on the sofa, humming a tune with glee as his cousin eagerly poured tea.
Cousin, your father is amazing. With one simple ban, that broke loser Lin, Yi can't even get his hands on a single shrimp. Yesterday, we collected tens of thousands of pounds of seafood returning to the port and brought it all in. Now every upscale restaurant in Nanchang, except for us, has no one else to turn to for stock. We'll triple the prices these next few days and rip them off for everything they've got.
Ha 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 ha. Linye is a nobody. Fighting me? He's probably in that miserable cold storage, crying his eyes out right now. Wasn't Lao Zhang so tough? Didn't Tianxi Pavilion refuse to work with me? If he comes begging later, I'll make him kneel at the door of the stall and call me master.
Suddenly, a worker from the stall bursts into the office on all fours.
Boss, it's terrible. Yesterday, we just brought in tens of thousands of pounds of groupers and shrimp, but this morning they're all dead. The water, it's already stinking.
Li Fei leaps up, pushes the worker aside, and rushes out. The moment he sees the holding tank, he's struck like a bolt from the blue. His legs give out, and he kneels directly on the wet tiles. Yesterday they were packed and lively, tens of thousands of pounds of seafood, but now the tank is filled with white foam and a stinging stench. Dead fish have cloudy, bulging eyes. A layer of nauseating slime floats on the water. A red spot bacteria outbreak, high-density oxygen depletion, a massive cross-infection. The filtration system, contaminated by poisoned fish, was never thoroughly disinfected. Forcing tens of thousands of pounds of seafood into the tank was the straw that broke the camel's back.
No, it can't be. I put my entire net worth into this, and even embezzled $2 million from my father's company for this stock.
Just then, a fleet of business vans braved the typhoon and drove into the seafood market. Haiyue Restaurant's Zhao Haisheng, Tianxi Pavilion's Lao Zhang, and the bosses of dozens of top-chain restaurants in Nanchang all stepped out of the cars. Li Fei sees them as a lifeline.
Brother Zhang, President Zhao, you're here for the shipment, right? Do you want the dead ones? Half price. No, I'll sell them at 90% off as frozen goods.
Li Fei, have you lost your mind? We're a high-end restaurant. Should we use your dead fish to poison our guests?
Then why did you come to the seafood market? I'm the only one in all of Nanchang with stock.
Who says only you have stock? We're just passing through. Our fleet is meeting at the intersection ahead to go to South District Logistics Park.
South District Logistics Park? Linye?
That's right. At midnight yesterday, Linye sent 20 heavy-duty cold chain trucks from the neighboring Deepwater Port Province to bring back 300,000 pounds of premium deep-sea seafood. Now, his cold storage number 3 is basically an undersea palace. Alive and kicking king crabs, coral grouper, he has all you could ever want.
Brother Linye is an honest man. During the typhoon, market prices tripled, but he only raised his by 30%. Now, restaurant owners in all of South City are queuing up at his place. As for your Ligi aquatic products, keep it for the maggots.
The fleet drove off into the distance, splashing stinky, muddy water all over Li Fei. In the storm, Li Fei stood dazed, looking at the empty stall, smelling the bone-chilling stench of rotting fish, until finally his vision went dark, and he fell unconscious into the sewage. Shortly after, Li Fei was taken to the hospital. Upon hearing the news, his father arrived at the ward and landed a massive slap viciously across Li Fei's face while he was on an IV drip. Cheek swelled up instantly. A bit of red seeped from his mouth.
You failure. You good-for-nothing beast. $2 million. Not only did you embezzle $2 million from the company account to buy a pile of rotting fish, but now you've completely ruined the Li family's reputation.
Li Wanshan slammed the files violently against Li Fei's face. Papers scattered across the floor. There were over a dozen lawyer letters from various high-end restaurants in South City. The goods weren't delivered due to the typhoon. According to the contract, Li Fei must not only return the prepayment, but also pay 3 times the penalty for breach.
Just from Tianxi Pavilion alone, the penalty is as high as $1,500,000. And with the other restaurants, this debt is close to $5 million.
Dad, please help me. Go talk to Lao Zhang and the others for me. The Li family has been in Nanchang for so many years, they have to give you some respect.
Respect? In Nanchang now, I have 0 respect left. Do you have any idea? This morning, people from the Health Bureau and the Industrial Bureau shut down your stall. That idiot cousin of yours actually tried to sell those rotten dead fish to roadside stalls for grilled fish, and was reported on the spot. Now everyone in Nanchang knows that Liji Aquatic Products sells poisonous, dead fish. The 30 years of reputation Li Wanshan built, you ruined in a single day. Fill this $5 million hole yourself. If you can't, then rot in a cell. As for me, Li Wanshan, I'll act like I never had a son like you.
Li Wanshan slams the door and leaves, leaving Li Fei alone wailing in despair in the hospital room. Meanwhile, at South District Cold Storage, No 3's place, it's a hive of activity. During the 3 days the typhoon hit, Cold Storage became the only live seafood palace in Nanchang. 300,000 pounds of top-tier seafood was sold out at a shocking speed. 3 days later, the wind and rain stopped, and I sat in the temporary office with a bill counter in front of me and a dozen thick ledger books. After paying the $10 million bill to Brother Hay and deducting labor, utility, waste, and cold storage rent, I netted exactly $8 million in 3 days. I picked up my phone and transferred $11 million directly to Brother Hay's account. The extra $1 million was for profit sharing. In less than a minute, Brother Hay called back, his voice full of undisguised shock.
Brother Lee, you're a damn genius. Hoarding 300,000 pounds in 3 days, and you paid an extra $1 million?
Brother Hay, I know the rules. Taking care of the brothers makes the path wider. From now on, the premium deep-sea goods from Dongzhou, I, Nanchang, will take it all.
Great. From now on, for your Lin Ye goods, I, Old Hay, will personally oversee the shipment.
I hung up the phone, but I didn't go out to buy a Porsche to show off like Li Fei did. In this business, luxury cars aren't cool. They're just stupid. I picked up the landline and called Nanchang's biggest heavy truck dealer.
Hello, Mr. Wang? The latest Isuzu 10-ton oxygen-enriched refrigerated trucks. I want 10 of them. Yes, all cash, and I need them tomorrow.
This battle has just entered the second half. The Li family wants to blacklist me, then I'll just flip the game board they're so proud of. Half a month later, at the Nanchang Seafood Wholesale Market, the base of operations for Li Wanshan. Usually, at 3 or 4 in the morning, this place should be bustling with life. Purchasers from major restaurants would drive vans and tricycles, coming here to haggle over prices and load up their goods. But today, the market is deserted, with only a few vendors playing cards. Li Wanshan, standing by the floor-to-ceiling window of his office, has a face so dark it's frightening. A subordinate reports tremblingly,
Mr. Li, today Tianxi Pavilion, Haiyue Restaurant, and the city's top 50 restaurants, none of them came to our market for supplies.
Li Wanshan gritted his teeth and asked,
Where did they go? The South District Cold Storage?
No, they didn't go there either. That kid, Lin Ye, he started a wild, fresh, cold chain fleet.
In the traditional seafood wholesale model, the biggest headache for restaurant owners is the final mile of delivery. After buying live fish from the market, they're hauled back in simple water tanks, hitting bumps, traffic, and lack of oxygen. By the time they arrive, half of them have died. The losses are huge. I used that $8 million to buy an advanced cold chain oxygenated trucks and formed my own professional transport team. The restaurant owners just need to place an order in the group chat, and my cold chain trucks deliver right to their door at dawn. Temperature control, professional oxygenation, survival rate is 99% upon delivery. If one dies, I, Lin Ye, will compensate them on the spot. This is called crushing the competition. I didn't just save them hiring purchasers and maintaining their own trucks, but I also upgraded the quality of their seafood. As long as those big restaurant owners aren't fools, they know who to choose. Li Wanshan slammed his fist on the table, his eye twitching uncontrollably. He thought cutting off my shipping routes would end me, but he never expected I'd bypass the seafood market, that traditional middleman, and build a closed-loop system from the port to large-scale cold storage, through the cold chain, straight to the high-end kitchens. The Nanchang seafood market, where Li Wanshan has ruled for 30 years, has been completely bypassed by me.
Lin Ye.
Li Wanshan squeezed the name out through gritted teeth.
What a ruthless move.
Meanwhile, at my cold chain dispatch center, I stood before a massive screen, watching 10 refrigerated trucks' GPS tags flickering on the map, heading straight for the top hotels.
Brother Lin, today's orders are all sent out. The turnover is $2 million.
I nodded, and just as I was heading for coffee, the security guard burst in.
Mr. Lin, someone named Li Fei is demanding to see you. We can't get rid of him. He's like a rabid dog.
A cold smirk crossed my face.
Let him in.
When Li Fei walked in, I barely recognized him. He was unshaven, with hollow eyes, wearing a wrinkled shirt that reeked like he hadn't bathed in days. He looked nothing like a rich heir. His Audi A6 had been seized, along with $5 million in penalties and illegal high-interest loans to cover his debts. He's now nothing more than a desperate stray at the end of his rope. Li Fei stood in the spacious and bright dispatch center, looking at the list of restaurants on the wall, then at me and my calm demeanor. Jealousy flashed in his eyes, but it was instantly suppressed by fear. Li Fei squeezed out an awkward smile and walked toward me while rubbing his hands.
Xiaoye.
The nearby security guard, with a cold face, stepped in front of him.
Call him Mr. Lin here.
Li Fei's face froze. Then he endured the humiliation and shouted dryly.
Lin. Mr. Lin.
I looked at him calmly.
If Brother Fei is not home being the boss, what brings you to my humble cold storage? What do you want?
Li Fei suddenly dropped and knelt before my desk. This sudden kneeling left the nearby dispatchers stunned.
Xiaoye. Stop mocking me. I was wrong before. I failed to see your true greatness. Xiaoye, we are childhood friends who grew up together. When the business was making money, I did take the biggest cut, but I never mistreated you, right? I even gave you $100,000. If not for that money, could you be where you are today? I have no way out now. Loan sharks spray paint on my house every day. My father told me to fix this mess myself. Xiaoye, for the sake of our brotherhood, lend me $5 million. No, $3 million will do. Let me pay off the sharks. I'll be your driver from now on. I'll carry ice for you.
I looked at Li Fei kneeling on the ground, listening to his disgusting brotherly nonsense, and suddenly felt how absurd it was. People talk about profits when they're at the top, and only when they're in the mud do they start talking about feelings. I took out $100,000, walked up to Li Fei, and slammed the money into his face.
Over these past 3 years, the drinking I did for you, and the long nights I worked to make money, have already settled my debt to you. This $100,000 effectively severs the last bit of connection between us.
He looked at the bills scattered on the ground, then looked back at me, met with my cold and empty gaze, and suddenly roared like a madman.
Lin Ye, don't get ahead of yourself. My father still has connections. You think you've won? I'll take you down.
2 security guards stepped forward and like dragging away trash, they dragged the hysterical Li Fei out of the dispatch center. I didn't give him a second look. Li Fei is finished, but the real fight is with the person behind him, the one called the old fox Li Wanshan. Just then, the phone rang.
Brother Lin, Li Wanshan has gone crazy. He took his 3 villas and 2 large market stalls and mortgaged them all to the bank to take out a massive amount of cash. I heard he chartered 3 2,000-ton deep-sea fishing boats to intercept the supply chain from Dongzhou. On the high seas, he wants to start a price war and fight you to the end.
A slight smile crossed my face. The old fox has finally pushed all his chips onto the gambling table. Li Wanshan, since you want to gamble your life, then I'll show you what a true bottomless abyss looks like. Meanwhile, Li Wanshan mortgaged all his assets and even borrowed from underground banks $30 million in bridge funding. He chartered 3 2,000-ton deep-sea fishing boats, sailing directly to the high seas, beating my supplier, Brother Hay, to it by offering 20% above market price, forcibly seizing 500,000 pounds of top-grade live deep-sea seafood. To store this massive inventory, Li Wanshan rented out all the vacant stalls in the Nanchang aquatic market, temporarily installing over 100 high-power coolers and oxygen pumps. Li Fei seemed reborn, standing at the market entrance with a megaphone.
Li's Seafood is reopening today. All premium king, crab, leopard, coral grouper, and tiger prawns are 20% cheaper than wild cold chain. Not just cheaper, we also provide door-to-door delivery. Lin Ye wants to monopolize Nanchang? In his dreams, today, I, the Li family, will crush him with cash.
Those greedy restaurant buyers, hearing the prices were 20% lower, immediately turned around like sharks scenting blood and swarmed into the Nanchang aquatic market. Suddenly, my wild cold chain orders plummeted by 70%. In the dispatch center,
Brother Lin, Li Wanshan is burning money to survive. He's selling below cost. He loses money on every pound sold, but he has too much inventory.
If this continues, in 2 weeks at most, he'll have stolen back all of our market share.
I glance out the window at the blinding sunlight. It's mid-July, and it's nearly 40 degrees Celsius outside. I open my computer and pull up a Nanchang Power Supply Bureau issued just the day before yesterday. It's a red alert for peak summer power usage. I point to the red-lined area on the notice.
Nanchang Seafood Wholesale Market was built 20 years ago. The core transformers and underground power grid there are severely aged. The stalls are usually fine using small freezers. But now Li Wanshan, to store those 500,000 pounds of fresh seafood, has forcibly connected hundreds of high-power industrial cooling compressors. He knows seafood, but he doesn't know electricity.
I sneer, standing up to pat Xiao Zhang on the shoulder.
Notify the fleet. All drivers get 3 days of paid leave. If the restaurants want to buy from the Li family these next 3 days, let them. We aren't cutting prices. nor fighting for customers.
Xiao Zhang is stunned.
Brother Lin, we're just going to watch?
Yes, watch. Watch him build his empire. Then watch it all come crashing down.
3 days later, the Li family's discount war reached its climax. The restaurant owners, blinded by greed, were stocking up frantically from Li Fei. As the funds flowed back in, Li Wanshan's furrowed brow finally relaxed. Li Fei held a glass of red wine.
Dad, that kid Lin Ye hasn't made a move for 3 days. His cold chain trucks are all sitting in the park gathering dust. He's chickened out. His cash flow can't handle our heavy price cutting.
Li Wanshan let out a cold snort.
Old and wise wins every time. Once we clear the last batch tomorrow, I'll immediately unite with the other bosses to kick Lin Ye out of Nanchang for good.
Just as the father and son raised their glasses, thinking victory was theirs, an ear-piercing sound of electric overload suddenly exploded across the sky above the Nanchang seafood market. Immediately after, 3 old giant transformers on the market's edge, pushed by 40-degree heat, and the maximum load of hundreds of refrigeration units began to erupt in flashes of blinding blue sparks. The smell of burning circuits filled the air. The next second, the entire Nanchang seafood market went pitch black. Li Fei looked flustered.
What's going on? Why did the power go out?
Li Wanshan leaped up, his heart jolted with a sharp pang, and an ominous feeling instantly consumed his whole body. For the seafood industry, a power outage in 40-degree heat is essentially the same as being handed a fatal sentence. Those 500,000 pounds of premium deep-sea seafood from the cold depths, once they lose cooling and oxygen, won't survive 3 hours. Li Wanshan let out a desperate roar.
Hurry, go start the backup diesel generator.
Li Fei scrambled out of the office, bringing a few workers straight to the underground generator room. 10 minutes later, 2 old diesel generators struggled into motion. The indicator lights on some cooling units finally flickered back to life. Before Li Fei could even catch his breath, the generator made a sudden, deafening crash. The engine shook violently, completely seized up, and billowed out thick smoke.
Brother Fei, it's not working. We've hooked up too many cooling units. The load is too heavy. The backup generator has blown its engine.
Damn it. Fix it. I don't care how. Just get the power back on.
The 40-degree outdoor heat made the closed-off market stall feel like a massive steamer basket. The water in the tanks began to spike at a visible rate. A wild king crab worth over $1,000 weakly let go of its grip on the tank wall, floating belly up on the water's surface. Immediately after, as if it were a signal of an ending, the groupers and giant prawns, hundreds and thousands of pounds of premium seafood, began to struggle frantically in the warm water. Finally, they exhaled their last bubbles in despair, turning over to show their white bellies. In just 2 hours, Li Wanshan and Li Fei watched helplessly as the wealth of $50 million they had traded for 500,000 pounds of living fortune turned into a mountain of foul-smelling remains, dead fish floating, and wastewater flowing. Li Wanshan's knees gave out, and he fell heavily into the murky water. He stared blankly at the pond full of dead fish. His face was pale as a ghost, his lips trembled violently, but he couldn't make a sound. $50 million. He was not just broke. $30 million of that was a loan from the underground banks. Everything is ruined. Li Fei rushed over and hugged Li Wanshan.
Dad, don't scare me. Let's call Lin Ye. Lin Ye has a cold storage, and he has refrigerated trucks. Let him take the goods and flash freeze them. Maybe we can save something.
Even at this point, Li Fei still hallucinated that the brother he had trampled under his feet would come to save his life. The phone rang for a long time before being picked up.
Xiaoye, mister. Lin, Grandpa Lin, I'm begging you. Send your refrigerated trucks to save me. Half price. No. I'll give you everything for 10% of the cost. Just send the trucks.
Li Fei wailed on the phone, like a stray dog with its back broken.
Brother Fei, I forgot to tell you, the Nanchang Power Grid's repair vehicles were hired by me half an hour ago to maintain the lines of my South District cold storage. The power at the seafood market won't be back until tomorrow morning at the earliest. As for your fish, keep them to make soup for yourself.
The dial tone of the disconnected call echoed in Li Fei's ears, sounding just like a countdown from the Reaper. At that moment, outside the seafood wholesale market, a sudden screeching of brakes was heard, along with noisy shouting and cursing. Dozens of black vans blocked the market gates. 100 men armed with iron rods, in full-sleeve tattoos, pounced like hungry wolves into the Li family's stall. The debt collectors have arrived. Ligi Aquatic Products' rolling shutter door was pried open by several thick steel pipes. The pale beams of flashlights pierced through the sickening darkness within the stall. The leader was the notorious thug from the Nanchang Underground Bank, Brother Dao. Brother Dao walked toward Li Wanshan, who was slumped on the ground.
Master Li, I heard the power's out, and your stock is ruined. So, that $30 million on the note, plus the $5 million in interest, how do you plan to pay it back?
At this moment, Li Wanshan has lost all the dignity of the Nanchang boss.
Brother Dao, please give me a few more days. I still have 3 villas, and this biggest stall in Nanchang. I'll sell them and pay you back.
More days?
Brother Dao's eyes turned cold, and he suddenly smashed a club against the side of the last remaining glass water tank. Glass shards mixed with filthy water, soaking Li Wanshan from head to toe.
I'm not running a charity. 3 villas? You've already mortgaged them to the bank. You think I'm blind? As for this pathetic stall and this pool of rotten fish, cleaning it alone will cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Who the hell would take this over now?
In the corner, Li Fei huddled like a terrified quail, too scared to even make a sound. Brother Dao's lackey grabbed Li Fei by the hair, dragging him out like a dead dog, and kicked him hard in the knee. With a sharp crack, Li Fei let out a piercing scream, clutching his broken leg and rolling frantically in the sewage.
Stop! Don't hit my son. I'll sign everything.
Li Wanshan broke into tears, crawling over to grab Brother Dao's shoes. That night, screams echoed through the Nanchang fish market. Li Wanshan signed all the asset transfer agreements, including the only 2 cars left, his old family home, and the biggest stall in Nanchang, the symbol of the Li family's 30 years of hard work. The once arrogant Li family father and son were stripped by the debt collectors of their expensive watches and car keys, and like pieces of trash, were thrown out of the market gates. It was pouring rain outside. Li Fei wailed in the mud with his broken leg. Li Wanshan looked at the dark market, spat out a mouthful of blood into the rain, and collapsed right there. A day later, the sun shines again. On Nanchang Seafood Wholesale Market, the heavy scent of disinfectant covers the stench from last night. A black Mercedes Maybach slowly pulls up to Ligi Aquatic Products' front entrance. The car door opens. Wearing a sharp black suit and polished leather shoes, I step out of the car. Behind me follow a dozen uniformed Yexian cold chain employees. Inside the shop, Brother Dao is smoking with a frown. In his hand, he clutches the lease transfer. He's been searching all morning, but no one in Nanchang wants to touch this cursed, ruined place. Seeing me walk in, Brother Dao's eyes light up, and he immediately greets me with a smile.
Mr. Lin, what a rare guest. Are you here to inspect the market?
My eyes sweep across this shop, where I shed blood and sweat and pulled countless all-nighters. On that wall, the golden Ligi Aquatic Products sign is hanging by a thread.
Brother Dao, let's get straight to the point. I'm taking over this place.
Brother Dao claps his hands in delight.
Mr. Lin is so straightforward. Li Wanshan spent $2 million to renovate this. I won't ask for much. Give me $1,500,000, and even the golden sign is yours.
Brother Dao, are you mistaken about something?
I pointed at the dirty fish scales covering the floor and the murky pond.
The fortune of this place was ruined by the Li family. Taking this off your hands is a favor. I'm just clearing your junk. $500,000. A penny more, and I walk away. South District Logistics Park has plenty of space for my expansion.
Brother Dao gritted his teeth.
Fine. It's a deal. $500,000.
10 minutes later, the contract was signed, and I stood in the center of the stall. The workers brought a ladder to the wall and took the golden Ligi Aquatic Products sign, smashing it onto the ground. They replaced it with a brand new, elegant sign reading Yexian Group in bold characters. Just then, a sound came from outside the stall, like a trash can being knocked over. I turned around to see a beggar covered in filth, limping on one leg, crawling in the trash pile opposite the stall, digging out half a discarded bun. It was Li Fei. He seemed to sense something and looked up, his grime-streaked face meeting my gaze. He saw the Maybach, and Brother Dao bowing to me, and he saw the sign that once belonged to him now bearing my name. Massive contrast, like an invisible sledgehammer, completely shattering his final shred of sanity. The half-bun dropped from his hand, and his whole body began to shake violently. Tears mixed with the mud on his face, as a low whimpering sound escaped his throat like a wounded animal. He didn't scream or curse, nor did he beg, but simply turned away, dragging his broken leg like a beaten stray dog, as he limped away into the filthiest dark alleyways of Nanchang. Even his back was filled with the shadow of despair. 2 years later, the weather in Nanchang already has the chill of early autumn. During these 2 years, Yexian Group hasn't just monopolized Nanchang, but the high-end seafood cold chain transport of the entire province. I also built the province's largest modern fresh food warehouse base. My father's illness, after using the best targeted medication, has miraculously recovered. Now he and my mom live in a riverside luxury apartment downtown. Daily, they just go to the park for chess and tai chi, never dealing with cold relatives again. The uncle's lot had the nerve to bring gifts to our door, trying to get an executive job in my company. I directly ordered the security to throw them and their things out. My world is now clean, reserved only for those who deserve it. Tonight, Nanchang Chamber of Commerce is holding their annual gala at Tianxi Pavilion Restaurant. As a representative for Nanchang's young entrepreneurs, I am the invited guest of honor. The Maybach pulls up smoothly at the grand entrance of Tianxi Pavilion. In a bespoke suit, I step out of the car. Lao Zhang from Tianxi Pavilion, now the general manager, waited at the door early, greeting me with a huge smile.
Mr. Lin, you finally arrived. Several city leaders are inside waiting for you.
Just as I started walking in, the driver honked his horn, leaning out to shout,
Hey you, security. I'm talking to you. Are you blind? How are you directing cars? Can you afford a scratch on this car?
I stopped instinctively and turned to look. Under the dim parking lot lights stood a man in an ill-fitting old security uniform with a hunched back. In his hand, he held a glowing baton, and his left leg was clearly lame. Hearing the drivers yelling, the limping security guard timidly looked up into the Maybach's bright headlights and stared over. Our eyes met, and the surrounding noise seemed to vanish instantly. Li Fei's face looked 10 years older than 2 years ago. Deep wrinkles marked his eyes. That once arrogant look was now only numb, clouded with deep insecurity. When he realized I was the one on the steps, surrounded like a star by a massive crowd, his baton fell to the ground with a clatter. He lowered his head in a panic, dragging his lame leg, as if fleeing, into the shadows of the lot. Lao Zhang followed my gaze.
Mr. Lin, do you know that gatekeeper? He's just a night guard hired last month. He's quite clumsy. I think I'll fire him tomorrow.
I looked away, saying calmly. I turned around and strode into the brightly lit banquet hall. In that brilliant world of vanity, people toasted and drank, talking about deals worth millions of dollars. Meanwhile, cold wind swept the parking lot. Occasionally, I remember that afternoon years ago. Li Fei sat on the leather sofa, feet up on the coffee table, throwing that thin stack of cash at me.
You just provide the labor. $100,000 is plenty.
He was right. $100,000 was indeed plenty. It bought out his 30-year legacy of the Li family. It bought out his own life. And it built my Lin Ye, a seafood empire worth hundreds of millions.